Okay, the next one we're going to do is with a little bit of math. Okay, so as you're thinking about this, we're going to add 1. And for some students who that might be challenging for, just ask them how old they are. So if they're, oh, I'm 6. Well, how old will you be on your birthday? Well, 7. Almost every child can tell you how old they're going to be on their birthday. And so a lot of times I might ask that. So when we look at our cards, if I see 2, 2 plus 1 would be, and just say it with me, 3, 7 plus 1, 8, 2 plus 1, 3, 8 plus 1, 9, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 8 plus 1, 9 plus 1, 10, 1 plus 1, 2, 8 plus 1, 9. And then we would just put it up and let them just say, 10, 2, so say it with me, 8, 5, 5, 3, 4, 10. Okay, so now that they can do plus, then we could alternate and take turns. And what we would do, we would say equal what we see, so 9, and then plus 1, 5, 4, 7, 3, 4, 5, 9, 7, 2. Okay, so equal plus, just taking turns with that. Now, if you wanted to add in 7, 2, spades, you could do that. Equal plus 1 shape. Okay? I can't write down absolutely all the 5,000 ways that I do things, but the next one we're going to do is minus, though. You ready to subtract 1? Okay, so 8 minus 1, 7, 5 minus 1, 4, 6 minus 1, 5, 5 minus 1, 4, 3 minus 1, 2. Okay, so we would do that minus 1 for a while. And then, you ready to take turns? And y'all, I have to tell you, one of the funnest times when I did this, and when I'm traveling or doing a big group, I have a jumbo deck of playing cards that I use. But I actually did this at Toyota. It's a car company here in the US. And I went up to do professional development. And this exercise was actually very challenging for them. And they're kind of math people, engineer people. So it was very fascinating. Okay, y'all ready? Okay, we're going to do this together. I will help you. So equal, so 6 plus 6 minus 5 equal 5 plus 4 minus 8 equal 4 plus 5 minus 5. Okay, do y'all have that pattern? Let's do this. So 3, 9, 2, 1, 8, 4, 5, 8, 5, 8, 3, 6. Okay, so I hope you had fun with that. We could absolutely keep going with that one. So now we're going to take the numbers, and y'all, this is a big, big piece of Equipping Minds that we are about to venture you into. Okay. One thing that is very unique about Equipping Minds is that the games that I use, that I developed, all intersect with each other. They all overlap because that's what learning does. And we need the brain to overlap. And when we're doing our jobs, when we're doing academics, when we're doing so many things, we are using all of those areas simultaneously. So we're going to look at those numbers for just a minute, okay? And I'm going to pull up the number for you to see, and you're going to have a sheet in your handout that has numbers with colors. So I'm going to just have you look here for me, okay? And you're going to notice that they're different colors. And we're going to talk through this. You're going to notice that the 1 is green, okay? And what I also want to show you here is that we also have vowels. So we have the vowel A, and you may notice that it's also green. Okay, so our 1 is green and the A is green. And we're going to come in here, and our direction that you're going to see under symbols, number symbols, is that we're going to circle the 1. And this is called secret code, circle the 1. And so we're going to come over to our number page, and I'm going to come over here and I'll say, I see you drawing a circle around the 1. What do you see yourself doing? And the student will say, I see myself circle the 1. And so they would go in and do that. Now, if they do not have these pages and you're working with them online, then you do exactly what I'm doing. You hold up your page, okay? Or you pull it up on your screen, or you bring it up somehow, or you just talk about it, or they use their finger, and we're going to circle the 1 and learn that a circle and the 1 go together. So they'll come in here and they'll say 2, circle the 1, 5, 4, circle the 1, 3, 3, 4, circle the 1, 2, 5, 4, circle the 1, 4, 3, 5, 2, 5. But they're going to circle the 1s, okay? And so that if we looked at that, and if you're working with students that handwriting is a challenge, I do like to start at 2 o'clock and make my circles going counterclockwise. That can be really good if you've got someone who's struggling with handwriting. We don't tell them we're working on handwriting. We are playing secret games, okay? We're playing games. This is a secret code. Don't even let them know we're working on handwriting. That's between you and me, okay? But boy, do you see improvements in handwriting. And so as you heard me say, we're going to circle the 1s. Well, guess what? We're also going to circle the vowel A, or A. So we're going to circle the A. And I see ourselves circling the A, circling the A, circling the A. And as you notice, the A is also green. So our 1 is green, our A is green, and I see us circling the A, and I see us circling the 1. Okay? So what I want you to see is that then when we also see, now y'all, everybody stay with me. Okay? This is Intensive Equipping Minds, Carol Brown. This is our whole end back. Now when you see this card, it's going to also represent a circle, the number 1, the color green, and the vowel A. Okay? Now, the good thing for you to know is you've got the answers to what I'm talking about right here on your second sheet. So right here, it'll say number 1, the ace. It's a circle. It's green. You're going to eventually learn that it's George Washington. You're going to learn it's a bear. You're going to learn it's the letter A. And you're going to learn it. The month is January and the vowel is A. Okay? So this, when I said secret code, I really mean a secret code. So it has a lot of meaning. Do not get off this call right now, okay? I'm just going to tell you. It is, just stay with me. It's great. It's great. And y'all, if you could have seen, if you can see my kiddos that, you know, have autism and Down syndrome or intellectual disabilities, and y'all, they get this. They get it, and they do it. And yeah, so do our kids with dyslexia and ADHD and our business professionals, but everybody's like, whoa, I feel my brain working. But the way that we introduce it, they actually get it and they understand it. And Rachel can tell you that. Lula, who's on here, who works with kids, can tell you that. They get it. So right now it seems like, whoa, where did she just take me into a whole other realm? Yes, I did. But it's okay. It's all good. And we're doing this together. I will help you. So in your handouts, that's where you're going to see these. Everybody, the handout that's on the Equipping Minds website, and it's under the shop. There's a link. There was a link up in the chat if someone's able to put that back there. But if you were on the Equipping Minds Facebook page, Carol Brown's Facebook page, or on the Equipping Minds website, you're going to see, actually, it's about a 22-page handout for what we're doing today. So you're going to see that code there. Okay, so the next one that you noticed, it told us that we're going to put an X on the 2. And so I see us erasing the circle around the 1. And I would always say to the student, I see you drawing a circle around the 1. What do you see yourself doing? And they would say, I see myself drawing a circle around the 1. And then they would do it. Okay, so now I see you drawing a circle around the 1. Then I see you drawing an X on the 2. What do you see yourself doing? I see myself drawing a circle around the 1. I see myself drawing an X on the 2. Now, this is the important part. Everybody listen. We start with our 2. We'll say X. Let me get the black marker. Excuse me. X the 2. Circle the 1. 5, 4. Circle the 1. 3, 3, 4. Circle the 1. X the 2. 5, 4. Circle the 1. 4, 3, 5. X the 2. 5. Okay, circle the 1. 5, 4, 3. X the 2. Okay, so here they go, circling and Xing. And what we do not do, you do it just like this. I have had teachers who go in and want to circle all the 1s on the whole page and then go in and X the 2s. Well, that's not taking turns. And that's way too easy to do it that way. Okay, so believe me, students can do it this way. And you may have some students that you need to put a sheet of paper up and go down and look at it 1 row at a time. Okay, and that's absolutely okay. You have some students that you may just say, you're going to do a row, and I cannot emphasize this enough. You go first. You model it. Because right now, you all are feeling, as this is being introduced, you know, think back when we were doing tic-tac-toe. Hey, wait a minute. Wait, what were y'all doing there? So having it modeled, you taking a turn, you doing a row, doing it with them, because we have something that's called mirror neurons. And that's also going, when you're doing it, their brain is engaging doing it. You've got students who have a hard time tracking from left to right. So having the sheet up can help with that tracking as well. And then sometimes some kiddos feel overwhelmed. Some adults feel overwhelmed if they see the whole page. But if you're just kind of creeping down row by row, next thing you know, they've done the whole thing and they didn't even realize it. So keep that in mind. So if we X the 2, and you may have noticed on the page that 2 is blue, and we jump over to our vowels, you are going to see that the E, F is blue. So we're going to go in and we're going to circle the A or A, and we're going to X the E or F. So we will X the E, F, circle the A, X the E, F, X the E, F, circle the A, circle the A, circle the A, X the E, F. And so they would go in and do that. Now, if you have cubes, okay, if you have Unifix cubes, if you have ways to make green and blue and red and yellow and black blocks or cubes, or when we were first starting out, I actually took pieces of construction paper or different things, or things that are different colors, or, you know, like Lego pieces and all kinds of things. But what we would do, we would come in and we would say, oh, I see green on A, blue on E, and see, I'm picking it up with my pincer grip. Green on, blue on E, I see blue on E, I see green on A, I see blue on E, I see green on A, except I want to come back over here and grab him. Blue on E, green on A, green on A, green on A, and blue on E. And then I would ask them, so what letter is hiding under my green? Oh, A. And if you're working on sounds, they can also say a, e, e, a, e, e, a, a, e. Okay, so we would do the same thing with our numbers. So with our numbers, we would come over and I would see you. I see blue on 2. I see green on 1. I see green on 1. I see green on 1. I see blue on 2. I see green on 1. I see blue on 2. And then you would do those. And then I would say, so who's hiding here? 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then once they have that, we're going to go up to number 3. And with number 3, we have some students who have a hard time drawing a box, but I would say, so what did I see you do to 1? And they would say, I see myself draw a circle around the 1. And then what do I see you do to 2? I saw myself draw an X on the 2. So now I see you drawing a box around the 3. What do you see yourself doing to the 3? I see myself drawing a box on the 3. So they would, and some students have a hard time with the box. So we may do 4 dots and do down down, across, across, or just do down, down, across, across. But what's interesting, they will eventually start doing really well with their boxes. Okay, so we're going to come on down and we can, and I'm going to actually come into the bottom half of the page. That may help you to see that better. Okay, so let me look down here. So now I'm going to say box the 3, circle the 1, 4, X the 2, 5, box the 3, X the 2, 4, box the 3, X the 2, circle the 1, 5, 4, circle the 1, 5, 4, box the 3, X the 2. Okay? And then we would come in and you will notice that the 3 is red. So then we would say, I see red on 3, I see green on 1, I see blue on 2, I see red on 3, I see blue on 2, I see red on 3, I see blue on 2, I see green on 1, I see green on 1, I see red on 3, and I see blue on 2. And then we would talk about what was hiding under here. So we would have, say them with me, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2. Okay, and what I want you to notice is with our vowels, if A was green and E was blue, then I would be, what do you think I is going to be? Red. Yes. So I is going to be red. So we're going to put a box around the I. So they're just following each other in that. Okay, so y'all are doing fabulous. So we're going to keep going. I'm going to teach you the last 2. And I always teach these together. And I'm going to see you draw a line under the 4. And I see you draw a line above the 5. And the students are always using language when they're doing this. And as you're first learning the secret code, y'all, it's going to take a little bit of time because right now you're just like, oh my goodness, she just gave us 5 things. But it's going to become second nature to you. It really is. And sometimes with the 5, I will come in and you know how there's a line above the 5, I will put the line there. Okay, so we're going to go in the bottom and I would say, so what do I see you doing to the 1? And you say, I see myself drawing a circle around the 1. What do I see you doing to the 2? I see myself drawing an X on the 2. What do I see you doing to the 3? I see myself drawing a box around the 3. What do I see you doing to the 4? I see myself drawing a line under the 4. What do I see you doing to the 5? I see myself drawing a line above the 5. Okay, let's do this together. I will help you. So here we'll start. So box the 3, circle the 1, line under the 4, X the 2, and you can say it with me, line above the 5, box the 3, X the 2, line under the 4, box the 3, X the 2, circle the 1, line above the 5, line under the 4, circle the 1, line above the 5, line under the 4, box the 3, X the 2. Now you may also notice that the 4 is yellow and our 5 is black. So we would even be going in and we would say that I see red on 3, I see green on 1, I see yellow on 4, I see blue on 2, I see black on 5, I see red on 3, I see blue on 2, I see yellow on 4, I see red on 3, I see blue on 2, I see green on 1, I see black on 5, I see yellow on 4, I see green on 1, I see black on 5, I see yellow on 4, I see red on 3, and I see blue on 2. And then we could read these back. And we could even say the number, but we could say 3, and then now alternate and tell me the color. Green. The number, say it with me. 4, color, blue. Number 5, color, red. Number 2, color, yellow. Number 3, color, blue. Number 1, color, black. Number 2, color, green. Number 5, color, yellow. 3, blue. Okay, nicely done. And then we could even look at this, and I could put a sheet of paper under here. See the secret code? Y'all ready to try to read it with me? Don't worry, I'll help you. What number do you see? 3. And what color did you see on our 3? Red. And what vowel did we say we would box? If we're talking about the third vowel, it's going to be I or if. What number did you see us circle? The 1. What color did you see on 1? Remember? Green. And what vowel did we say we circled? Ah, the A. What number did you see us put a line under? 4. What color did you see on our 4? Yellow. Now I just want you to stop and think. If A is 1, E is 2, I is 3, what vowel would be the fourth vowel? O. So ah, O. Our X is for number 2. What color did we put on our 2? Blue. And what vowel did we say is blue and we put an X on? E or F. What number did I see you put a line above? 5. What color did I see you put on the 5? Black. And if A is first, E is second, I is third, O is fourth, then our fifth vowel would be U. Okay? U or ah. And so there you have that secret code with numbers 1 through 5. Now, you're going to see on the sheet that we go all the way up to number 9. And I'm just going to tell you, we do, because it takes it all to 9 numbers. And you're going to have a sheet in your handout, and you're going to see the code. And you're going to see that we actually have on this sheet Here is our black 5, yellow 4, blue 2, green 1, purple 9, white 8, purple 9, brown 7, red 3, and orange 6. So today I really wanted you all to get the first 5 down. You're going to be able to get the others down. And you're going to, so you can see what those would look like. When you see these, it is, once again, the line above the 5, line under the 4, X the 2, circle the 1. We're going to actually, the 9 gets a line in the middle, a midline. We're going to put parentheses on the 8, line in the middle of the 9, a left parenthesis or a C on the 7. We're going to box our 3, and we're going to put a slash on our 6. So those are going to be the 9 symbols. And these 9 symbols are part of that secret code. And then that's where your letters of the alphabet also will correspond with the 9 symbols. So if you remember when we looked at the tic-tac-toe board, and this is an easier bridge, I think, in your tic-tac-toe handouts, you're going to notice that we have, here's A, see A? A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. D, our 4th letter. E, 5th letter. F, 6th letter. G, 7th letter. H, 8th letter. I, 9th letter. And that's how it has always been, right? With the ABCs, we know the first letter, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. It's how we file things. It's how they may have put us in class by our last name alphabetically. And so you already know this, even though you didn't know you knew it. The same thing if we're talking about the months of the year, right? So if I'm looking at my deck of cards and I see a 2, what's my 2nd month? February, right? So if you see a 2, what color is this really now? What color was our 2? Blue. So now when we put up our cards and I say, tell me the color, and you see a 2, you're going to say blue. Yes, she really did say that. I really did. Okay. And if I said, what symbol do you see on the 2? Well, you see a diamond here, but the symbol for the 2 is an X. So you would say an X. What vowel do you see? An A or A? Okay. So if in some of y'all here in the United States, and if you want to learn them, we also learn the presidents, and we're going to look at those in this next hour. But they would go in here as well. And our 2nd president is John Adams. But if you're not learning the presidents, then, especially the months of the year is a great thing to put in, because we're always having to write down the month, right? At school, on a check, for dates. So it's a great way to also get that numerical association with the month. Okay. So if we were just going to take the cards for a minute, and I'm just going to take, actually, you'll see in the handout that it says a deck of cards 1 through 9 only, or the 1 through 5 and 1 through 9. That goes for the 1 through 5 cards, or the 1 through 5 page, or the 1 through 9 page. And so that's where we could be looking at those. And we're just going to do these together for a minute. Okay. And y'all, please hear me. It's great that this is challenging. Brain games, real brain games, are challenging. They should be. And so this is a really fun way. Hey, let's do our brain. Let's do our code. And so if we're saying, okay, now tell me the color you see. Okay, don't worry. I'm going to help you with this. Okay, you ready? So if we saw a 4, what color did you see with our 4? Yellow, right? Our 4 is yellow. Now this one actually, and this happens sometimes. Look at our 3. What color is our 3? Well, it actually is red. And this time it works for the 3. Okay, and 2 would be what color? Remember? Blue. Is everybody saying blue to themselves? Blue. And then now look at our 3. What color is our 3? It really is red. And so that's why if somebody like just jumped on here and is watching this, they're like, okay, I think she's colorblind. No, I'm not. It's just that now when we're using the secret code, then we look at it and it is red because 3 goes with red. Okay, and then for our 1, what color did you see with 1? Yes, our green. Yes. And then for 5, what color did you see? And this actually is black. So occasionally that's going to work out with the black with a deck of cards. But that's where we could also have you tell me the symbol is a circle. The symbol is an X because we X the 2. The symbol is a box. And the symbol is a line above, and the symbol is a line below. Now, I had a great question. Yes, when students are learning this, and I will tell you, we actually just started doing this like you're learning it. What you need to understand right now, you are the first ones to learn this, okay? Rachel had been doing it with her students with a deck of cards. And when we were looking at doing this training and everybody not having the workbooks or access to the workbooks, I was talking to Rachel and she said, oh, I just do it with a deck of cards. And so since we talked on Saturday, I've been doing it this week with my students. And so I'll say, okay, and because they've learned the others, that green is 1 and blue is 2. And so when you're introducing the cards, if you've just done 1s and 2s, let's say that's where you're going to start, well, just get out your aces and 2s and just use those initially. One thing, like today for these purposes, I'm teaching you all 5 things. But I would not introduce all 5 things to a student at once. You know, maybe if it was a business professional or a college student, maybe, okay? Because they might at first act like, oh, this is silly doing these games. And right now you guys are like, okay, no, I feel it. I feel my brain working. But with students, I just then pull in what they would know. And so we would just be doing that. And you might say, well, there's only 8 cards. Well, no, just keep using them. You know, just keep going through them and just saying it. Okay, green, blue. And they get used to that. And then you've got the handout with the colored one. I will tell you, you all are getting 22 pages. This workbook is 206 pages. It's rather large. There's a lot in here. But for these purposes of what we're doing right now, for this time in our world's history, I wanted to give you just like some of the key things with Equipping Minds. And we still have other games to play. Don't worry, we're still going to go till 4 o'clock. But I wanted you to get some of those key components. And it was so amazing when I found out Rachel had been doing this with her students. And then when I did it with my students today and yesterday, all week, and I said, okay, so tell me, think about your numbers. What color is this? Every single one of them were like, oh, blue. Yeah. And actually, nobody had a major problem with it. Now, for those who are getting used to it, is it going to be challenging? Absolutely. I think most people, maybe at some point in your life, you had a psychology class or different things, and you have been introduced to the Stroop effect. And so you saw the Stroop, and I'll pull this up. It's in our teacher workbook, the colored words, okay? And so it's the idea that here it says red, but it's written in green. It says blue, but it's written in red. And you're supposed to just say what it says, or then just say the color and ignore the word. And that kind of effect is absolutely going on here when you're looking at this and you're saying blue, or you're looking at this and you're not saying club, you're saying X because we exit, or you say E, or you for the vowel, or for the letter, you say B because B is the second letter, or you say February, okay, or you say John Adams. And the next thing you're going to learn is the fish, the animals that also go. Okay, so we haven't done the animals yet, but that's another little piece, fun piece, one of the kids' favorite pieces. And it is just so much fun. Now, for those of y'all sitting here, this is a 3-hour training today. April 20th through the 24th is our annual conference, and where it's 5 full days. Level 1 is 3 full days. Level 2 is 3 full days. So if someone is sitting here watching and you're like, okay, I'm loving this, I think I want to learn more about this and the whole workbook, then absolutely look at coming to the conference. If you're a missionary, or different situations, we have some scholarships, but this as the certification piece. But what you're learning right now is just kind of a great way to get started with everything. And I will tell you, I think you guys know, if you've been to the Equipping Minds website, if you know anything about this, my doctorate's in education. What you're learning is all research-based. It's published in a medical journal. We see IQ increase, working memory, processing, comprehension, reasoning, and it generalizes to academics. We see those scores go up in reading, in math, in language. I could sit here and talk for an hour. There's actually an hour talk on the YouTube channel where you can hear about that research. You can go to my website, Equipping Minds, and go to the research tab, read the research. You can go to ResearchGate and read the journal articles as well. So so these games really do work all those areas, and they're just so much fun watching the kids play. And that's my greatest joy every day. It's why I still have a private practice, y'all, is because when I get on with students, they're just smiling and they're ready to do this and play their games. And Miss Carol, you know, I'm doing so much better, or I love this, or Miss Carol, can't we meet on Saturday? And they love doing it. And we include parents. And so that is such an important piece. That's why I love, you know, I mean, we don't like what's happened right now in our world. However, right now we have a time, yes, parents are now saying, teachers, I get it. I appreciate you. Wow. But this is also a time with the games that we can really equip our parents, because if you have a student who has a neuropsych, you have an IEP, a 504, you have children that are struggling, then the areas that are impacting those struggles are what we're working on. It's their cognitive skills. It's their processing. seeing and saying what they're seeing and hearing. When we're doing this, I can't tell you how this helps people in the workforce or some of our special needs students who have jobs. When they're sitting there and they're saying, I see green on 1, I see blue on 2, I see myself circle the 1, I see myself X the 2. And then they're alternating, taking turns saying the number, the color, the symbol. When they're doing that, they're telling me, oh my goodness, I just did better at work because now I can remember the directions my boss gave me. Because when we're doing jobs, we're using our hands, we're using our voice. We have all been to the grocery store a lot lately, and we are so thankful for the people at the grocery stores. They are sorting our food like crazy, right? Everything is getting sorted these days. And then they're having to, think and talk to us and keep track of things. So it just helps with all those skills. And, I know Miss Lula just chimed on, and she has worked with students at her school. And there's a great video clip on the Equipping Minds site and on Vimeo on her school and how it's just changed her daughter's life as well as hers. Her students have just accomplished so much, and she has done an amazing job seeing their brains work. You can see that testimony on Vimeo. Put in Equipping Minds, and it'll come in from the holler. And it's a great testimony in what they're doing down there as well at that school. And a lot of our schools, Rachel said, and the same thing where the school in Perry County, there's a lot of kids on free and reduced lunches, and they handed out 400 pairs of shoes the other day, and they're giving snacks and meals. And I love that Equipping Minds is being able to go to all regions. I love that we have people on this right now that are all around the world, because I've been blessed to connect with a lot of missionaries overseas and orphanages and our schools and our homeschoolers and public and private school. I love that. We've got college professors on this call right now, psychiatrists, speech therapists, OTs, moms, special ed teachers, and probably things that, I have no idea, but a lot of educational therapists. I know you're on here right now. But taking these games and really having fun. I wanted you to feel a little overwhelmed with what we just did. We're going to go do something a little easier right now to give your mind a little break. But I needed you to feel that, because guess what, guys? That's how your students feel. That's how your kiddos feel, or that adult. Please know that adults with special needs or Parkinson's or traumatic brain injuries, PTSD, are doing fabulous with this. Okay, so now I'm going to have Rachel jump on, and we're going to look at, we kind of did a little bit where we just looked at symbols and colors, and then we went down and we looked at the letters and the vowels on your sheet, and we talked about what that would look like with taking turns. Okay, I don't want to totally overwhelm you with that, but I think you're kind of getting that idea, and we'll get to our animals before we end today. But the next one, oh my goodness, this is great. I've got to ask you, do you have students, or do you ever read something and have no idea what you just read? Possibly, yes, right? And so with that, it's not about reading and then going and finding the answer in the passage. It's about, are you creating a picture? Are you creating an image in your mind while you're reading? And so we use three different ways that we come in to help build this. The first one, and I'm going to need to hold mine up, and Rachel also talk about this, is to picture it. And this is where you can take a bag, a box, something. This is a fun exercise. Maybe you've done something like this. And so you take, let's say it's it's Easter, so I have some Easter eggs, and you take an egg and you put it in a bag, and they can't see it. And so they come in and they're supposed to feel the object, okay? And they're trying to guess what it is. It'll tell you on the sheet that they're going to feel it, describe it, and draw it, and see if they can do that. Now, your student may not be able to do all of those, and that is a great one to do. Now, I have little footballs, you know, I have a pine cone, I have little different shapes. I'll just say, don't necessarily, I've got, oh, a candy cane. I still had some left over from Christmas. You can have just put one thing in at a time, probably. And you can do a box, a bag, and let them work on picturing it. And that's just a super, super, super fun game to do. And then the game Stare. And I'm going to hold up a card here. And Rachel, I just want you to talk about your class and the 10 Aristotle's 10 categories and how you all have used that.
Sure. So I teach reading intervention groups for 3 grade levels, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. And, you know, fluency is a little easier to address. And the set game that I think Dr. Brown's going to talk about helped immensely with our fluency scores, but comprehension was hard for them. And so I'd done a variety of things, but this January, I just decided to focus, to trust the science behind the brain training and to do the Stare cards. So we started kind of dividing our day. We had 20 minutes with each group, and I would do the first 10 minutes, we do the picture it. We kind of started with that because they needed to be able to see and mentally picture and visualize. And then we work through with the Stare cards. And I didn't even tell you, Dr. Brown, we got to where we would add some of Norman Rockwell's paintings, or we described those too. But we did use the categories of being, and they have changed my teaching life too. Even the way I question, which is really, I mean, it is good questioning, but breaking it down concrete and teaching students to think that way was amazing. So we started with the picture that she's holding up there, and just asking them to tell me, what colors do you see? Who is in the picture? And we talk about the dogs, and are there 2 dogs, or, you know, that whole thing, going through it. But it was amazing how much that helped them with reading and built their confidence to answer in class, where I had kids before that wouldn't ever want to say anything. When we'd been working on that in our small group, they were doing so much better at chiming in. So it was a great way to revolutionize. The data was showing that. I was cut short on my progress monitoring, obviously, with the way things were, but it's been awesome to change my interventions to totally focus on brain training activities. And I had a supportive administrator who let me do that as well.
Yeah. So, and with these, for example, she mentioned the 10 categories. Well, these are Aristotle's 10 categories. And I saw that a couple of y'all said, is this like VV, like visualizing and verbalizing from Linda Mubel? And it is. Yeah. Aristotle actually is where it originated 2,400 years ago. So his categories of being have been taught for 2,400 years. And they really are the foundation for intelligent thinking. And I've been through the VV training. My son did 200 hours of Linda Mubel. But I'm also I was a classical Christian school headmaster for years. And so when he had done the VV, I was like, wait a minute, those are Aristotle's 10 categories of being. Those have been around forever. And so what we have in your handout today are Aristotle's 10 categories and the questions. So those are there for you to follow, and you can do it with any picture, y'all. I gave you a handout with 4 pictures, but you can use, like Rachel said, Norman Rockwell paintings. You can take artwork. You can look at books or magazines or family pictures. Pull out family pictures and talk about those different questions, because a lot of those questions it's going to answer the questions, who or what do you see? How many do you see? The quantities. So what's the age, the number, the qualities you see, the colors, the size, the shapes, the textures, the sounds, the smells, and then what's happening in the picture. Where is it happening? What's the location, the place? When is this happening? What time? Is this, 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago? Is this in the spring, the summer, the fall? How long ago is this? The morning, the afternoon, the evening, past, present, future? So you're answering those questions. Now, you don't have to do all of those in one time the first time you're looking at it, because you can literally sit here sometimes and talk about a card for 15 or 20 minutes. Seriously. I can compare the two boys. Is it the same boy or a different boy? And we don't know for sure, actually. Some will say it's the same boy and he's having a dream about when he's little. One little boy told me, well, it's got to be the same boy because we only dream about ourselves. And so that was cute. And some will think it's the same dog, and others will look closer and say, no, I don't think it is. I'm looking at the color around their eyes or the length of their legs, and I think it's a different dog. And how are they feeling? So we're looking at what they're doing, where they are, when this is happening, what they're wearing, their clothing, their accessories. What position are they in? Well, he's lying down, and he's lying down, but he's kind of crunched up, isn't he? A little bit. And oh, one's on the front, one's in the back. The dog is to the side. And then what's the relationship? Is this the boy's dog? What's their relationship? Whether it's the same boy or a brother or a friend. And then how are they feeling? So through the years, everybody has built on Aristotle's 10 categories of being. I just kind of love to go back to the beginning and give Aristotle credit where credit is due. Um, you know, and I see that Laura chimed in. She uses this in her school up in Switzerland County, Indiana. And she said, there's times we're doing the cards, I have to stop the boys discussing them because they had to go back to class because they just love sitting there discussing the cards. Now, if you actually get the stair cards, they have additional questions on the back. And I mean, I love to look and say, so imagine you're the boy. Is the dog on his right side or his left side? And so once again, you're having to put yourself in the picture. And that strategy helps build empathy. But, even like I said, right now, getting out old family pictures and talking about what you see in the picture and thinking about what you did. And then they can tell a whole story about it, actually. I like to then the next day ask them, so what do you remember seeing on the card we looked at yesterday? And seeing how they do recalling what was there. Now, I will tell you, here in the United States, they actually use this exercise, not this particular card, but the idea that here you have to look at a picture, and then they will then take it away and ask you questions about it. For a lot of civil servant jobs, it's part of some testing they do to see if you'd qualify for some jobs. But we're actually working on the them being able to visualize and image a picture and hold on to the details. And a lot of times they just had no idea that that's what they were supposed to be thinking about. And so here in the United States, the other piece that we'll use this with are the presidents. And you got a little handout. We love the book that's called Yo Millard Fillmore. Okay. And you've got a handout on the website under the shop. We also now have kind of made some cards. So these are medium size. A parent made these for us. But here we have the washing machine, and we'll talk about what we see. And it has a ton of clothes. So we have to wash a ton for George Washington. And I will tell you, um, Will Cleveland, who's one of the authors, is just fabulous. And I think we have more people buy this book than anything. But what he was so genius was something from this picture is in the next picture. So we'll always say, so let's turn the page. Let's see what's in the next picture. And what do we have? What came over? Well, the washing machine. Well, how's it different? Okay, it's open. We get a different perspective. And so what do we see inside? We see the atoms. So the atoms are swirling around. And so that is where the atoms are. And then he puts it over into the next picture. So we have our atoms. And if you get the book, it has a little history, some interest in there on the next one. And then the next one goes over, and here our atoms are being cooked. And the atoms are being cooked by the chef and the chef's son. And that chef's son is going to be for Thomas Jefferson. So these actually continue to build, and they intentionally had something from one picture come to the next. Once again, you can sit here and talk for 10, 15 minutes about a picture going through Aristotle's 10 categories. Now, anybody who's seen the presidents before knows that that's not what anybody else does with them. It's something unique that we do, because we like to take those 10 categories of being and talk about what we see. Well, how do we know this? What size washing machine is it? Okay, oh, it's large. Well, what gives us a cue that it's large? Oh, the ladder or the White House is large, and that relationship. Where is it? Oh, it's in the front lawn. Okay, and what do you see on the right side of the washing machine? So, oh, I see the laundry detergent. What do you see on the left side? Okay, and so we talk about what time of day do you think it is? And so many things that we will discuss. Now, I will tell you, when we get over here with the chef's son, this could be he's the son of the chef, maybe the son or the grandson, or it could be a parent, it could be a mom, grandmother, so the son. But how does he look like he feels, and can look at some emotions there. And then imagine, so what hand do you see him holding the spatula in? And so it's in his right hand, and what do you think is in his left hand? And so asking them those questions. So these are amazing at helping to build that imagery. The stair cards are great. We love the stair cards. We love putting things in the bag. The Feuerstein Institute that we're trained in does tri-channel learning, and they use different things. I would also say in the bag, put your letters and numbers too, because that could be a great thing for them to be feeling those as well and picturing those in their mind. So as you're learning the presidents, before you know it, you will know them forwards and backwards. And that is so fun. And the kids who learn those are so proud of themselves. And still, even if you are not here in the States and learning the presidents isn't crucial, I will tell you, even if you're doing the cards or the other games, it can be fun to learn those, to add in your sequence, even if you just learn the first 5. Because if you're doing any world history, there's a good chance you're going to study the American Revolutionary War, and George Washington, and you might learn a little bit. So knowing a couple of those could be just fine. So I wanted to hit on those for stare and picture it. As you heard us talk about there's the game set and another game that we use a lot called Spot It. And so I want to take a minute with Spot It. Here in the States, this last month, the Chick-fil-A restaurants have been putting Spot It games in all of the kids' meals. So if you're not here in the States, I'm sorry, but I do want to show you this. I am going to also be doing a YouTube training like every day for this next couple of weeks on my YouTube channel, on the Equipping Minds YouTube channel. And so if your kids don't have the Spot It cards, we're going to get to play those. So here's how Spot It works. We look at the card and we start at 12 o'clock and we'll say, oh, I see a green frog. I see a brown squirrel. I see a green grasshopper. I see a gray gorilla. I see a brown bear. I see a yellow lion. Now we pick up another card because we're going to see how they, what matches between the two cards. And when we look, if you're looking, you may notice that there are two lions. And so we would say, I see two yellow lions. Well, guess what? Then we still keep our first card. This is our constant card. In the game of Spot It, if you were following their directions, they would have you pull up two brand new cards and just look at those two. I like to keep a constant card, and you're going to see why. Then we're going to come back and we're going to say, oh, I see two green frogs. And this really is working on that visual perception, even their visual memory, that visual scanning, because here one is small and one is larger. And so some of my students will then say, I see two green frogs in the pond, or I see two green frogs hopping in the pond. With some of our students, we like to write it down when they say it, and we'll write down sentences, and you can write it on a dry erase board. One of our students who is not a reader, her dad works with her, and he writes it down, and then she traces over it. And so now she has just started writing sentences, and it's helping with reading and with writing. It's just been amazing. So, but hey, we're just playing a game. Remember, we're just playing a game. So now our next card. What do you see that matches? Okay, so I see two brown squirrels. So you see two brown squirrels? Okay, so I'm going to give you a minute. Or a few seconds actually. Let's see who can find the match. You see it? Okay, I see two gray gorillas. Do you see the gorillas? Okay, here we go. What do you see that matches? I see two brown bears. Okay, good job. Okay, take a look. Okay, I see two gray gorillas. Good job. Did you find it? Okay, I see two yellow lions. Okay, see if you can find it. I see two green frogs. I see two green grasshoppers. And our last one. I see two brown bears. Then this is what we do. So now, tell me, what did you see on the very first card? And we see if they can tell us. Now, I typically don't show them this because then they're going to tell me what they see here, okay? So you can just cover it up and ask what they saw. And you can go through the whole deck. I just went through about 10 with y'all. So here in the chat, just type in what you saw. So tell me what you remember seeing. What did you see? The yellow lion, the brown bear, the green frog, the brown squirrel, the grasshopper, the bear, there's the gray gorilla, and there's one more. Nobody is, oh, someone did say yellow lion. You got it. Okay, just saw it. See, y'all got it. Okay. Okay, so guess what? Because let's see, Mac was getting all of them. And so if you have your student getting all of them, guess what? Then you play again, right? And then you'll say what you see on the card. You'll go around. It's always, I see a green turtle. I see a black and white penguin. I see a yellow camel. You go around and then you say, okay, so now let's play. What do you see that matches what we just saw on the card? Okay. Now, it may take months to get to this point, or you may have some students that after, a couple days, they're ready to do this. And then you play. And then let's say they get really, really good at that. Well, guess what? Then you can just say, I see a blue hippo. I see a green frog. I see a pink flamingo. I see a pink starfish. I see a yellow fish. I see a yellow dog. What did you see that matched what you pictured? Okay? Yes. So if I will tell you on the Equipping Minds website, under the shop, under the games, there's an additional handout that's 37 pages that has some overlap with what you were given. And it actually has all the directions for Spot It, all the directions for Blink, all the directions for Set. So that resource, I have just been gifting. Okay, so I've just been a real gifting mood these days. I've actually had that one up there for the last year for folks. Now, I will say, we start every student at level 1. We really do. And so it may be, you may have a student that you feel like this might be too much. Well, guess what? Let's just start here. Look at half the card. Okay? Or you find a picture card with just one thing. And we're just talking about the boy. And it's just amazing though, y'all. I will tell you, when you're asking students, what do you see? Not what do you think? What do you see? It's amazing how they'll start talking more. It really is. I'm just going to tell you that. Because there's not a lot of, it's right here, right? And let's just talk about it and what they see. So those are so much fun to do. And then the next thing that we're going to look at here in the back is, and you heard Rachel, I heard when we kind of cut out at one point, doing the finger exercises that y'all talked about, that tapping the fingers. Another game I love doing is called Make a List. It's the last thing on your sheet where I'll say, okay, you've got 1 minute. Or just tell me all the animals you know, all the animals you can think of. And I don't want you to necessarily prompt them initially, as this is just kind of to get a baseline, okay? And it's fascinating because a lot of times I'll have even adults, maybe they'll give me 7 animals, but we all know you know more than 7 animals. Or I may have a student who they'll give me 10 animals super fast. So maybe I say, tell me animals, and they just start naming animals super fast. And then at about 20 seconds, they stop. Okay? And they're like, wait a minute, animals? I can't think of any
What
animals.
are you getting close to?
So if we can, everybody check your mics. Let's see. Ray, I'm going to have you check your mic.
5 volts.
Let's see. Our Cheryl, I don't know if you can check mics.
Yeah, I'm checking them, Carol.
Okay, got it.
Hardware.
But
So
It's fun. It's amazing we have this technology, and it's fun when we get extra insights into everybody's lives too. So that's also the fun part. I will tell you, I've been doing teletherapy and for years, and you get to know your families because you're actually kind of in their home every day, and it's a great way to connect with them very much. And that's why to have the parents there. The other day, I did a session with 3 children in a family, and they were actually on 3 different computers. So we were doing it simultaneously, and it worked really well, actually. So that was fabulous. Now, when they're doing make a list, just let them do it. Eventually, you're going to work on categorizing. And it might be, and we like to take our animals to do this, that we're going to look at. And so I want to go there for just a minute with our animals. So I'm going to put the page up. You're going to see 2 different ways to look at this. And these are the Stroop animals. I'm just going to tell you, hands down, one of the students' all-time favorite exercises. I've yet to have a student, adult, child, who does not end up loving these animals. They love this exercise. They just love it. And it's probably surprised me tremendously how much they just love this exercise. So Rachel and Lula with their students, oh my goodness, can tell you that. It's something that the kids love to perform, this exercise, if you can believe that once you see it. But we start out with just saying the animals that we see, okay? So let's read them together. Everybody read them with me. So we have penguin, giraffe, bear, bird, spider, camel, chicken, pig, zebra, snake, tiger, elephant, turtle, cow, fish, cat, frog, crab, bee, horse. Okay? Nicely done. So now we're going to go over to set 2. And here's set 2. And if you're looking closely, you might be chuckling a little bit, because you may notice that, wait a minute, that says spider and that says camel. What? Well, now they want you to ignore the wrong word. Remember when we were talking earlier about ignoring? We have to now ignore that this is black and say blue. Well, we have to ignore the word and say the animal. So we'll say, try it with me. You ready? Penguin, camel, check. Yeah, almost everybody does that. Did you do it? Yeah. And that if your student does it, you're just going to say check. Penguin, giraffe, bear, bird, spider, camel, chicken, pig, zebra. Yes, that's correct. Tiger, elephant, turtle, cow, fish, cat, frog, crab, bee, horse. Okay, good job. Okay, I know that's a crazy one. Super fun to do. Now we're going to have directions, symbols for our animals. And what I put in your handout that you're going to see, that's a key to know, is that the symbols placed on the animals correspond with the symbols. They correspond with the symbols. So we have symbols corresponding with symbols. And let's talk about this just a minute. We have 20 animals. Do animals have an order? No. Do the months of the year have an order? Absolutely. It's the 4th month, so it's April, okay? The 4th letter of the alphabet is D. The 4th vowel is an O. Okay? The fourth president is James Madison. The fourth number is 4. When we learn these, we're not going to learn them in the same order that goes with the number. We're going to make it a little more challenging. Okay? So you're going to learn the first 6 today. And don't worry, I'm going to help you. We're going to do this together. My favorite words. Okay, so here we go. I see you drawing a circle around the bear. And I want you to do this kind of with your finger in the air kind of thing with me. So I see you draw a circle around the bear. What do you see yourself doing? I see myself drawing a circle around the bear. And we'll do it. Okay? Good job. Now, I see myself erasing the circle around the bear. Now, I see you draw a circle around the bear. Then I see you draw a box around the snake to keep him in. Okay, so let's draw. I see you drawing a box around the snake to keep him in. So now, what do you see yourself doing? I see myself drawing a circle around the bear. I see myself drawing a box around the snake to keep him in. Nicely done. Now, I see you drawing a circle around the bear. Then I see you drawing a box around the snake to keep him in. Then I see you drawing an X on the fish. What do you see yourself doing to the fish? I see myself drawing an X on the fish. Okay. What do you see yourself doing? I see myself drawing a circle around the bear. I see myself drawing a box around the snake to keep him in. I see myself drawing an X on the fish. Nicely done. Okay. So now I see us erasing. And the next one we're going to add is I see you drawing a triangle around the cat. Okay. Now with this, sometimes we do 3 dots because this can be really tricky for some kids. But absolutely want to do that. And here we go. So I see you draw a circle around the bear. I see you draw a box around the snake to keep him in. I see you draw an X on the fish. I see you draw a triangle around the cat. Nicely done. And the next 2 that we add is I see you draw a line under the elephant, and I see you draw a line above the turtle. Okay, and this is such a fun one, and I saw someone put on here that their child loves this. If you happen to be on Facebook, we have a Down syndrome and Equipping Minds group, an autism and Equipping Minds group, a homeschoolers and Equipping Minds groups, a schools using Equipping Minds group, a QRI and Equipping Minds group, and a basic Equipping Minds page. So there's great ways that parents are supporting each other, and seeing the kids do this is so fun. So, so they would go in, and Rachel's students, Lula's students always go in and they say, I see myself drawing a circle around the bear. I see myself drawing a box around the snake to keep him in. I see myself drawing an X on the fish. I see myself drawing a triangle around the cat. I see myself drawing a line under the elephant. I see myself drawing a line above the turtle. Now, you ready to see this? This is so cool. So, let's stop and think just a minute, okay? So take a look. So, what animal do you see inside the circle? Yeah, a bear, right? What number did you see yourself circle? The 1. What letter is the first letter of the alphabet? A. What's the first vowel? A. And what color did we put a circle on? And what color goes with 1? Green. Remember that? Okay. So what animal did I see you put a box around? The snake. What number did I see you put a box around? Okay, and what I hope you're saying is the 3. You saw yourself box the 3. What vowel is our third vowel? I. What's our third letter? C. And what color did I see you put on 3? Red. Remember the red on 3? What animal did I see you put an X on? The fish. What number did I see you put an X on? Is everybody saying the 2? I hope so. Then what letter of the alphabet is our second letter? B. So then what's our second vowel? E or F? Nice job. And then what animal did I see you put a triangle around? The cat. Did I see you triangle any of the numbers? Actually, no. We're not going to put a triangle around any of the numbers. The triangle is just for the cat. He gets to keep it all by himself. But what animal did we put a line under? I saw you put a line under the elephant. You can think about him walking on land. What number did I see you put a line under? I see you put a line under number 4. And what color did you see on 4? Do you remember it was yellow? Yeah. Yellow is 4. And what is our fourth vowel? O, ah. And our fourth letter? D. What animal did I see you put a line above? The turtle. Yes. What number did I see you put a line above? Remember when we write him? He's got a line above. Our 5. And what color did I see you put on 5? Black. Okay. And then what vowel is our 5th? Is U. Yes. Okay. So you have learned so much. You're going to see in your handouts, and you're going to see in here that we're going to put for the animals. I'll show you this one just so you'll know. The order in which you do them is on your handout. But you will eventually, I want you to see this, you will eventually put a unicorn on the horse, and that's going to be for slashing the 6. You're going to put a C on the camel, or like an extra hump, and that's going to be like our left parenthesis, or our C on the 7. The spider is going to get a web. That's going to be like the parenthesis on the 8. And you can think of a spider with 8 legs. The pig is going to be turned into a piece of bacon, y'all, right through the middle. So our 9 has a line in the middle, and that's for our pig. And the horse gets to be orange. Our camel is brown for 7. We have a white spider for 8, and a purple pig for 9. And the kids love learning those. But you will see the order that we actually teach the animals in. They're in your handout, and they don't go in that same order as the numbers, and that's okay. That's a good thing. Okay. Now let's look at SAT. The game SAT is on the New York Times, so it is internet accessible to everybody. There's New York Times SAT puzzle. And the way that SAT works is you're going to have cards, and they're going to be different shapes. They're going to be diamonds. This has been a Cheeto, a squiggle, a swirl, a worm, a wave. So whatever you want to call them is fine with me. It's not a square though, okay? And then we also have ovals. So we would even sort these cards and say oval on oval, squiggly on squiggly, diamond on diamond. And this is called set, okay? And so you're going to see this in your handout and on the New York Times. And usually on YouTube, you can also see ways to play set, but I'm going to show you right here. And then you're going to notice that the cards have 1 item, 2 items, or 3 items. So we're just dealing with a 1, 2, and 3, diamonds, squiggle, and ovals. And then we're going to have colors. We're going to have purple, red, green. So no, that's not a trick. Green and red. Here's our red. There we go. Those are our 3 colors. And then you can think of set has 3 letters. We need 3 cards to make a set. So to make a set, they have to be all the same or all different. So what does that look like, all the same or all different? Well, that means I can have 1 purple solid oval. I can have 2 purple solid ovals. And then if I have a 1 and a 2 and the numbers have to be all different, what number is missing? Oh, the 3. And if my colors have to be all the same or all different, what color is missing? Purple. And if the shapes have to be all the same shape or all different, and I have 1 oval and 2 ovals, then I'm going to need 3 ovals. So 1 purple oval, 2 purple ovals, and 3 purple ovals. But let's say I kept my 3 purple ovals and I wanted to put 1 green diamond with it. So if I have a 3 and a 3, I would also need a number 3. If I have purple and green, I am missing red. And if I have ovals and diamonds, I need a squiggly. So they're the same number, different colors, different shapes. One of the funnest ways to have a set is actually where they're different in every single way, which is a lot of fun. So I can have 3 purple diamonds, 2 purple ovals, and then if I have a 3 and a 2, I am missing number 1. If I have green and purple, I'm missing what color? Red. And if this is a diamond and an oval, what shape am I missing? Yes, a squiggly. So this would also be a set. I love that Leslie said this is hard but fun. That is kind of equipping minds. That's how we are really remapping our brain. We're connecting neural pathways, we're creating neural pathways, we're strengthening neural pathways because we are using all these areas. The game set, Rachel's class plays a little set war that you're going to see on the handout where they put 2 cards down. You know, they each turn over a card and who can call out what they need first. And they have to say, oh, 1 red solid diamond or 1 red diamond. Okay. But they have this on the New York Times, so you can look and find sets. So if you can't get the card game, you can absolutely do that. So as we are wrapping up today, you all have been amazing. The card game that you're going to see there near the bottom is I See You Find It. And you see where it says, I see you finding 2 red hearts. Then and you would ask the student, this would be taking a deck of cards. So think of our deck of cards that we used. And this is a fun one to do with students, is you actually come down and you would put a group of cards out and you could say, I see you finding 6 red diamonds. What do you see yourself doing? Oh, I see myself giving you 6 red diamonds. And they would do it. And then once they could do one thing, you could then add two things. I see you giving me 8 black spades, and then I see you giving me 9 red diamonds. And so can they hold on to that? What do you see yourself giving me? And that's another way to work on that ability really to visualize and auditory processing and following multi-step directions. Every student, every parent, every person that you talk to will usually tell you they kind of struggle with holding on to directions, that everybody will have their limit. And so this is a great way to work on that. Y'all, there's so much that's in your handout. You're going to also see some colored arrows. And I'm just going to kind of wrap up with this last thing, couple things, last thoughts. With the colored arrows, you're going to be able to go in and actually say, oh, up, up, down, 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 up, down. But you may notice, because of everything you've learned today, you may realize that you know that this is 4, this is blue, black, so it's a line above, so it's a turtle. This is the 3rd president, so it's Thomas Jefferson. This symbol for green is a circle, and our direction is up, or we could even talk about that our vowel is E or F, or if you were saying what the letter is, it's B. So this is really what Equipping Minds is. This is the brown end back that I developed. And so everything that we have been doing has all been building and building and building and building and building so that we could put these pieces together as the brain's working through all this. You guys have been fabulous today. I have been so honored that you are on here and learning this. If you have any, questions,
Start our video.
you can send some emails. I did hear that this is being recorded, as you've seen, and it's going to be available. Mm-hmm. Check the Equipping Minds website, because on Facebook, check our Facebook page. Go like our Facebook page. As soon as we get the link, that's when, as soon as I have the link, that's when you will know about it. That's where I'll post that link and let you know where it's at. Okay?
Yeah, and Carol, give us just a couple of days to get our Holler Boys to cut and edit it, and then we'll send it on out probably by next Wednesday.
Okay, so probably by next Wednesday. So hopefully, as you've been thinking over all this, look at your handouts. Hopefully you've got that download. If you're now just getting your appetite whet and want to join us for our annual conference coming up the 20th through 24th, you can still register. It's going to be live streamed. We thankfully have been live streaming for 5 years. We've always had in person, but have also been live streaming these last 5 years, and it's worked great. So you would have the games, we would be doing it, we would be having these interactions, and it works fabulously. It really does. Cheryl's group has done that. For a few years. They used to come up every year, and so it's so great to have everybody. Cheryl, Doug, thank you guys for all your work today, and your crew for hosting this.
Thank you,
Rachel, Lula, everybody who has been implementing this. Laura, love seeing your all's comments. I didn't get to read everything while I was trying to multitask and see it, but you guys are fabulous. So enjoy this, teach your parents. You guys, they can do it. They can do it. You can do it with your kids online. There's so much content that we're not going to get to this year in school, but these cognitive skills is what they use for a lifetime. And that's what's so exciting. So thank you guys.